Let's talk about what you actually do practically and internally when the results that you want aren't there yet and you're trying to hold your direction and not try a million different things just in case they work better. In the reality of a slow week in business, a quiet inbox, a month where nothing seems to be confirming that what you're doing is working, that's what this video is about, that uncomfortable in between bit. See how you feel about this. You made a decision that you believed in. Maybe it was an offer or a platform or a way of showing up consistently, and you took the action that it called for. And now you're in the part that none of us like, the waiting, the absence of confirmation that what you've done is going to yield the results you want. The bit where your brain, which is really good at its job, starts generating reasons why the decision that you originally made might have been the wrong one after all. And it's not just your own doubt that you're managing in that phase, you're also managing the online space as well, and let's be clear, it's not a neutral environment, is it, when you're feeling uncertain? Every piece of content telling you that you need a new strategy, a different offer, a better funnel, a pivot to short form, back to long form, it exists because someone benefits from you believing that you haven't quite found the answer yet. And that's not a conspiracy and it's not malicious. I'm part of that noise too. I'd like to think that what I bring is useful, but that's what everyone thinks. The point is not about blame. It's just knowing that that noise is a feature. And the cumulative effect of all the external noise and the different viewpoints creates a fairly consistent low-level message that what you're doing isn't probably quite right and that the answer is just over there if you look a bit harder. And when you're already in a slow period and doubt is already present, that message just lands in fertile ground for growing arms and legs. So you're dealing with your own nervous system and an external environment that profits commercially from keeping you questioning yourself. And you're doing both of those things while trying to run your business. That's not a discipline problem, it's just a lot. Welcome or welcome back. I'm Lyndon, and this channel is about entrepreneurial leadership for women in online business, the internal work that allows you to discern noise from value and build your business your way. I've been in this space for 9, nearly 10 years now, and everything I teach comes from what I've lived through in it. So let's get into it. So the keeping the faith phase. I talk about this as a specific stage in the business building cycle, and it's the one that I've consistently found the hardest personally. It's not the decision, it's not the action, it's the bit after the action when you're waiting to see what it produces, and there's nothing yet to confirm that it's going to produce anything at all. It's more than just an exercise in patience. Here's what happens in that phase physiologically. When you're feeling uncertain for a sustained period like a slow month, it feels like a threat, and you naturally want to get into fixing mode. Your options start to feel more binary when nuance is almost always required. But feeling under threat, you default to what feels safest, which in business almost always means some form of seeking external reassurance, a new strategy, a new coach, a new something to try, doing something rather than nothing, i.e. changing something up, because movement feels like action and action feels better than sitting in the uncomfortable unknown. But the trouble is movement at that point is usually just a temporary relief dressed up as a strategy. We covered last week how to tell the difference between a genuine pivot and a fear response. So if you haven't watched that one, it's worth going back to, and I'll link it in a card. But the reason keeping the faith is hard isn't just psychological, it is physiological. Like I say, your nervous system is doing what it was designed to do. There's nothing wrong with you for finding this phase difficult. The question is just whether you have something to work with to help you tackle it with your business owner's hat on, rather than basing it on personal feelings. And that something isn't willpower. And I want to be really clear about that, because I think there's a version of this conversation that sounds like, well, just push through it. And that's not what I'm saying. What makes this phase manageable isn't just gritting your teeth and refusing to feel doubt. It's having an internal reference point that's more stable than the noise, yours and everyone else's. It's a way of working with the discomfort rather than either acting on it willy-nilly or just pretending that it's not there. In practice, this might look like going back to the decision you made and why you made it in the first place, actually revisiting your own reasoning rather than trying to just hold it in your head under pressure. It might look like distinguishing what you're observing from what you're afraid of. Those are often running in your mind as the same thing, and they aren't the same thing. Nobody bought this week is an observation. Nobody is ever going to buy this, and I've completely misjudged everything is a fear. And getting clear on which one you're actually experiencing and looking at changes what you do next. It might also look like regulating first before you make any decision at all. Yoga, journaling, whatever practices make sense to you for how you feel, not as a nice thing that you do when you have time, but as the condition under which good thinking becomes available to you. We talked about that in a previous video, the one on why regulation practices belong inside your business strategy, and I'll link that one too. The same principles apply here. You can't evaluate your business clearly from a dysregulated state. So sometimes the most useful business decision you can make in a slow month is to do your regulating practice first and come back to the business question after. What I've learned, and this took me a long time and I learned the hard way, is that the goal in this phase isn't to feel certain of the decision you've made. It's to have a clear enough internal reference point that the noise doesn't get to make the decisions for you. That's it. It's not certainty, because that's not a thing in business. We're just looking to achieve a grounded state, to make decisions from a grounded place. We just want enough steadiness to stay with what you've decided until your business can actually tell you something. So what does this look like when you've developed that practice, when you've genuinely built that capacity? Well, you have a slow month, but you stay the course, not by ignoring the slowness. You note it, you track it, you pay attention, but you don't think of one quiet week as a verdict on your offer or everything you think you do or everything you decide. You've learned the difference between information from your business and noise from your nervous system, and you've got enough of a track record with yourself to know which one you're hearing and which one you're going to listen to. When your doubts get loud, you have something to come back to. It's not just a pep talk, not external reassurance. It's your own thinking revisited from a steadier, more grounded place. And and this is the bit that builds over time, that the discomfort of this phase isn't a sign that something's wrong. It's just what it feels like to build something real without a guarantee attached to it. I know it's annoying when people say that you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, so I won't say that, except I just did, but it's true. Only I'd add that what this really means is there comes a time when discomfort doesn't feel threatening, which in itself brings a comfort, and that's a practice, an entrepreneurial leadership one. The key shift then from this video: keeping the faith isn't a passive state and it isn't a personality trait. And I'm not a poet. It just gets easier the more that you do it and the more that you understand what's actually happening when it gets hard, which I find makes a really important difference in business. Something worth sitting this week when you're in flow phase. What is the internal reference point that you come back to? And is it grounded enough, stable enough to hold you through the in-between? Or are you relying on external confirmation that may not be available when you most need it? Next week, I want to tell you about something that I've done before and I'm doing again, and what's going to be different about it this time. I built a business once, I tried to, without really building myself as the business owner first. And I'm going to build that business again, now from a different internal place entirely. And that contrast's worth talking about, so come back for that video. If this kind of thinking about business is something that you would like more of, subscribing means you won't miss the videos as they come out. And my videos do build on each other, so it is worth being here for the full arc. If you recognize the feelings that we've been talking about today and you want something practical to work with, Recalibrate Your 30-Day Practice to Confident Decision Making is a short program where this work begins, and the link to find out more is in the description below. If this video has been useful, a like before you go helps more people find it. And I would love if you could share the video with someone in your world who you think might need to hear it. And leave me a heart emoji if you made it all the way to the end, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.